We're at Snailsden and Winscar Reservoirs for a 9-mile hike. As you can see, snow's still on ground, but it's 5 degrees. Should be okay for hiking. Bit of road walking to start the day. Still on road, but it's gone off at main track onto private road now. It's got a bit smoothest water I've ever seen. There's not a ripple in it. Looking down on Snailsden Reservoir, cars down there across to the side. They're just in a loop around so far. About 7.5 miles to go, and this bit is not on Garmin's maps, so it's going to be a bit unsure where to go, so we'll see. Not got a clue where I'm going. I'm guessing up there. Give it a go. We're not far off highest point. This bit, like I said, is not on Garmin Explore, so I've got my old trails back up. It's a pretty clear path, so straight on to Snailsden Pike End, which is the trig point. Swing it round. A lot of sheep up here. So a lot of reviews on old trails say it's muddy and sludgy, and so far it's not bad. Nice view. I happened to come on this hike. It can be tough to see where you're meant to be heading. You'll come to a house, what's private land. There's no real clear path. So just head upside the house, look onto the horizon, and you'll see these wooden sticks. Head towards them and follow the path. We've made it to Snailsden Pike End, which is where we turn around, head north. What a view. Let's turn this corner and you'll see down into, I think it's Barnsley. Certainly heading towards North Yorkshire. That spike over there is Emily Mast. About 6.5 miles left, I think. We're heading down to the forest just in the valley. It's only 10 minutes from my old flat. Can't believe how quiet it is. Dropping down towards Winscar Reservoir, which is there. And then I think there's a bit of road walking into woodland. Quite nice so far. I've seen one person about a mile behind me. This is the first real boggy bit I've come to, where it's just a flat stretch of track that you can go in the middle of. Winscar Reservoir is on my right here. Pretty sure that's it anyway. Not very big. Remote. A little bit sinister. Dropping down into the forest. You can see Emily Mast over there. Bit of a landmark in the Barnsley area. I think it's called Emily Moor, maybe. Forest right next to us. And in front of us. It's a fair size. This forest's massive, it's bigger than I thought anyway. It starts from over there, all the way down into the valley, all the way to the other side of hills. Home Styles Wood it's called, I've never heard of it. Dropping into it now though, what looks like a road. I don't know if we have to go into this bit of forest, but we'll see. No woodland walk yet, walking down the road next to it. So the reason why there's no walk through the forest is it's made for timber, so it gets chopped down and replanted. That's why we're not walking through there. But we're heading down. I got the reservoirs mixed up, by the way. Winscar was the first one we parked at. The second one was Snailsden. So we're heading now towards Home Style Reservoir. Nice walk so far. Bit of road and track at minute, but we're halfway. About 4.5 mile-ish in. 4.5 4.4 left. I think there is some woodland walking. This isn't it because this is a timber farm. So, don't know when it is, but we'll see. Let's crack on. Cows. They're massive, some of them. Jesus. Oh, eyeballing me is the right unit. Jeez. Glad I'm not walking through any fields. Oh, horned one here. Hello. Carry on. Don't know why I'm going in here. They always do it in films. Look at it. Jesus. Like a horror film. It's abandoned. That's got like furniture in it. Old oven, toilet or something. Got wrong turn vibes here. Danger, keep out. I won't be going in. Really weird. I think the woodland bit of the walk started. Heading into the valley and then back out the other side. Brilliant. Some climbing to do. First real steep climb up to Reservoir, which is home style reservoir, and it is very steep. Thankfully not very long. Home styles, not styles. Getting everything wrong today. Whew, got a right climb. Still not seen this woodland walk. A lot of farm track on this walk. But we're turning towards the forest. Been some bad storms recently. climbing again into the woods at last. Fair old drop, so I better put camera down. I think this is the last climb and it's all downhill. Made it to the woodland walk. A lot of derelict buildings around here. There's one next to me now. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I walked through a, I think it is for timber to be honest, but it's quite nice. Quite chilled out. I think I've about 2.5 miles left. Not bad to say, it's just on the outskirts of Barnsley. So dense, it's like pitch black inside. See on my right, one of the fields what they've cut down and replanted. Yeah, it's not a natural woodland, but it's pretty nice nevertheless. Not really the forest I hoped for. It's definitely like these are logging roads, as you can see. Views are nice and it's pretty peaceful. Yeah, this field would have been forest. Chopped it down, replant, go again. Woodland part of the walk was short-lived, and as I said, it was just through a logging area, so average, but back on the moors. Still surprisingly remote, say around Barnsley and Sheffield area. Got about a mile left. Decent walk. Approaching the road at the end of the hike, probably about half a mile down to the car. Can finally see Winscar Reservoir that I wrongly thought was Snailsden this morning. So it's road walking from now. 9 miles done. Not a bad walk. One thing I do find helps in hiking is I always start a walk with negative thoughts. like a mess of negative thoughts. By the end, you've sort of filtered through them to the relevant ones. I think that's why it's good for your mental health. Just gets rid of all stuff that doesn't matter. Focus on what does. So yeah, no matter where you go, if what walk's good or bad, generally it's always a positive. It'll always have a good effect. So let's trudge down to the car. Okay, this is a map of today's walk. Started out just north of Dunford Bridge. This was Winscar Reservoir, which I wrongly thought was Snailsden. So a little car park next to that. First bit of the walk was run of the mill. You could follow it quite easily across the dam of Harden Reservoir. Follow the farm track right up to Snailsden village. It was about here. It got confusing. That is private land, and there's a dry stone wall on that hill. So it drove me on that path there. This doesn't make sense. You'd have to climb through what I think is a private field. It's not worth it. Head there. Once you intersect the farm track there, it's obvious where to go, because this entire section is not on Garmin Explore. So once you find the farm track, just follow it and it makes sense. And this leads you to the only real boggy part of the walk, which was this entire downhill going to Snailsden Reservoir. Yeah, that was the worst part of the walk for standing water and mud. But once you're through it, most of the walk was fine, to be honest, given the conditions. I dropped onto the road here where you couldn't get into the forest. This is where I saw the cows, right there. Dropping down here to the on the left now is where the derelict buildings were. Bit spooky, but interesting. Hardest bit of the walk was from there to there, because you got to climb the dam basically, which is there. So very steep, but thankfully very short. Round the back end of the dam and into what I think was the most scenic part of the walk. This here. This entire section, to be honest. Up until you got to kind of this bit, because it is made for logging basically. It's just rows of pine trees. Very, very mundane, but it was scenic, it was quiet, fairly nice walk, to be honest. But yeah, don't expect wild woodland on this walk, because there just isn't any. And this final section was... it's an old quarry, what they use for off-roading. I don't know if people are meant to, but they do. A little bit chewed up. This little path here is like a high road, because that was the only flooded part of the route. So that helps you avoid the flooding. Otherwise, probably easy to get lost, but as long as you just carry on in the same direction, eventually all paths lead to Dunford Road. Once you're on Dunford Road, you'll see the car down here. So yeah, overall a decent walk. I'd probably get 4 out of 5 stars for what it was. Recommended, especially if you live in the area. It's quite easy to get to. This last bit in the summer would make a good picnic area, but as you can see by this aerial, it's quite a popular area. So when I got there, it was rammed. Couldn't be bothered hanging around, so I went home. But yeah, overall a nice walk. certainly be retrying it in the summer and see if that makes a difference.